Hi, I am your online psychologist. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to today's session. Today's session is a bit more cheerful than it has been the last two sessions, because one of the questions submitted was a question from one of my friends, and it's a question about friendship. So that's a fun thing, I guess. And then the other subject I'll talk about is a small informative thing from my part. So yeah, my best friend, he came up to me and he said, me and my fiance, he just got engaged. Me and my fiance are having this discussion about what friends are like and what the difference is between guys and girls. He to support his discussion with his girlfriend, with his fiance. Sorry, it's still quite new. He showed her a meme, which I'll pop up on the screen. The meme simply implies that you have friends and you've got best friends, and friends are polite, supportive, and well, nice, and best friends are jerks, which I think some people will recognize and some people will not. His fiance, she didn't understand this, and he understood this because, well, we're like that. So he asked me, and I think he kind of tried to challenge me after he saw some of the videos from the previous sessions. Why is this? Why do guys do this? Why are we such jerks when we're best friends? Because that's not what you would expect from a best friend. So I thought of two things, and I'm not sure if I can even answer the question, but I'll try. The first thing that popped into my mind is, well, what are friends? What is a relationship? And the thing in psychology which belongs to that is attachment theory. And attachment theory is an idea formed by Bowlby in the 70s, I think, based on an experiment. You might know the experiment, in which a mother and a child came into a room with a how do you say it, one-way mirror, so researchers were on the other side, and they would play a little bit, and then the mother would leave, and the researchers, they would watch how the child would react, and based on that, 4 attachment styles came out, which I'll do somewhere in these parts. It's like secure, anxious, preoccupied, so really anxious, dismissive, avoidant, which is, well, I think it says it for itself. Not sure if that's good English. And fearful, avoidant. So, needless to say, only one of these styles is mentally healthy. But attachment theory is a difficult thing because it's, over the last few years, there are interventions made which are not as scientific as the base is. So the whole idea of attachment theory is scientific, but at some point it's not scientific anymore. It's just people who call themselves psychologists and well, just come up with things that are not supported by science. And I'm not really sure where this threshold lies. So I'm not gonna step into the whole attachment theory thing because I do want to keep things scientific. The other thing that popped into my mind is that when kids are young, boys and girls already have some differences in their behavior, which you probably know. But when they are extreme, when there's problem behavior with kids, it's sometimes ODD, and ODD is short for oppositional defiant disorder. Now this is very extreme, but it is an extremity of what I'm trying to say. Boys, when they have ODD, are very externalizing. All their emotions and all their anger or misunderstanding of everything goes outside. It goes. They can get violent. They get verbally violent, I guess. While girls, on the other hand, are more internalizing. So they'll turn into themselves, are more get more depressed, um, maybe lock themselves in their rooms and are angry at themselves. So the whole to simplify it, boys will get angry at everything outside themselves, and girls will get angry at themselves. So in a more positive light of this idea of this phenomenon is that I think that boys and then so best friends when boys, especially when those friendships are formed young, are all right. I'll put it this way. I think that at a young age, boys have trouble expressing emotion, every emotion. So, or any emotion, because you can be good at expressing one but bad at the other. So if the emotion is affection for a friend, and you're not really sure how to say this, and just like sort of a tease, you'll try to find each other's soft spots, I guess. No, in Dutch, when you hit the right spot with someone, you'll say that you hit the right chord, hit a snare, something like that. You get what I mean. So to find that, boys will say anything, which can be curse words. And when these relationships are formed at a young age and are maintained over a lot of years, people can get older, and this whole sort of baked in behavior will still be there, and that can be really weird for someone who does not experience friendships that way. So I hope that's sort of an answer. That's my answer. I think it's that difference between boys and girls, that girls are at a young age, at an older age as well, but more at a young age, more internalizing, so more against themselves. They express feelings towards themselves, and boys express feelings towards everybody and anything else. So that's the difference. All right, so to make this video not too long, I'll go into the other part. The other part is last week I said something about psychoanalysis. I told you what in the most core essence psychoanalysis is. And I also mentioned that it's one of the few perspectives, approaches in psychology. In psychology, in therapy, there are 6, now 7 perspectives from which you can treat. Psychoanalysis or psychodynamic approach is one of them. So that's why I said psychoanalysis is psychology, but not all psychology is psychoanalysis. So you got the psychodynamic one, I already explained that one. You've got the cognitive behavioral approach, which is about more like scripts and schematas and assumptions and beliefs, and modern day interventions from cognitive behavioral therapy are like, just to name a few, EMDR, ACT, mindfulness, ABC schemes. ABC schemes are older, by the way, but I think if you've ever been in therapy, you might recognize some of them. You've got the body-focused perspective, which is something which I think it's rare for a therapist to take that approach, but well, if they think that's the best one, go for it. It basically says that body and mind are one, and body and mind are one. They belong to the same thing. They are inherent to each other, and when one of the and so they can influence each other as well. So when something is wrong with the mind, it can influence the body, and when something's wrong with the body, it can influence the mind, which to some extent is very logical, I would say. This is a difficult word, I wrote it down. Experiential, I'm not sure if that's even English, but that's the Dutch word, experiential. Experiential client-based perspective, which is all about completely understanding, whatever it takes, understand your client and or patient, whatever you want to call it. Understanding is everything. You're not there to advise the client. You are there to understand and clear up any problems the client have, or help provide clarity. That's what you do. You're not there to advise. That's client-based experiential perspective. You've got system-focused perspective, which is actually which thinks like if the client has a problem, then the problem is probably caused or influenced or stimulated by the environment, the social environment. So this could be like a family, but it could be school, it could be anything. That's a system. The whole social environment is a system. And you've got the solution-based approach. Solution-based is, well, I think the closest thing to it is positive psychology, and positive psychology is all about what is more like Rogers psychology, which is that you assume that a person is strong enough to fix the mental problems by themselves. Positive psychology has a foot in almost every of these perspectives, but I think it's mostly related to solution-based approach. But that's why I said 7, because positive psychology is a new one. Yeah, so that's the few forms, and the whole trick of being a good therapist is to not work from one form only. So be open to all forms, which personally I think is very hard, because there are some of these perspectives that I do not agree with, just because they are not very much backed up by science. Right, so that's all the forms of psychology, and this video is already, again, longer than I wanted it to be. Thank you for watching. Ask me any questions. I'll be on Reddit, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. I've even made a Tumblr because I heard that would help. So I'll be everywhere. You can even email me.